Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we are going to do a character guide on Cloud of Darkness. This actually is a guide I was not planning to do because I was mainly focusing on like the C90 characters, but Cloud of Darkness was recently featured on some of the newer banners with Cloud and Squall, and I actually got a couple requests for this one, so I thought I would go ahead and do it. And so we'll go ahead and take a look at Cloud of Darkness. I think like they're still definitely a good character even at C80. And they actually make a really good friend unit. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the artifacts, and we're going to take a look at the spheres, and then we'll just jump into a quick little showcase. So for artifacts here, basically you want to go with the C50 and attack 108. So it'd be attack 108 and mediator of the light and dark boost. 2-star. If you can't get that, then try for max brave 330. That's pretty standard. Cloud of Darkness is a magic damage dealer. And they also focus on delay, and they do focus on breaking. That's kind of like what their kit is all about. So yeah, you definitely want to go with attack and damage there for Cloud of Darkness. Then we're going to go ahead and take a look at their spheres. Now, they are a triple A sphere character, so that's the game's indication to that, yes, this is meant to be a damage dealer character, because the A slot is for damage dealing spheres. It's pretty standard kind of recommendation here. You do want to go with attack up or brave damage up or magic attack up. So since this is a magic damage dealer, magic attack spheres can work. So my general recommendation is, since there are so many A spheres, try to use spheres that are exclusive to like what a certain character can use. So like, because this character specifies in magic damage, that's something that not every character can do, right? So if you have extra magic attack up spheres that you're not using, like you definitely could give them to Cloud of Darkness. And then you could save your generic spheres for other characters, right? But it all depends on what you have. So on mine, for example, Cloud of Darkness's own sphere is actually fairly good for them. Because Cloud of Darkness also does a lot of breaking, like these break spheres can be good too. So when inflicting break or attacking a target that is already broken, raises magic attack by 3%. That's for the refined one. Clouds I thought was pretty decent, raises brave damage dealt as long as you deal crits, which typically if you're attacking enemies that are already broken, you're going to be doing a lot of crits anyways. And then Cyan, when you break or attack someone that's already broken, another raising attack, right? And then Brave limit up. Literally, you could just look through your box. There isn't like an, oh my god, like best in slot A sphere here. Just focus on attack, magic attack, brave damage, and then whatever you have for spheres that kind of works for you, that's what you're going to put in there, right? Okay, so we've got that taken care of. So let's go ahead and we'll hop into a quick little showcase here. So we're going to go ahead and try Rem's Lufenia Plus here and see how this one works. I have been doing showcases on Edgar's Lufenia, but this character is meant to take consecutive turns, and that one really punishes you for taking consecutive turns. So I figured I got to change it up here and try a different one, right? Actually, I might see if I have a Cloud of Darkness friend. I probably won't. They're not up here quite often. I mean, Cloud of Darkness used to be up here a ton, but now it's like all Garnets, right? I will talk about how to use Cloud of Darkness as a friend, though, because they are a very good friend unit to bring in. So I'll make sure to make that a part of my showcase here. So let's go ahead and hop in. And we're going to kind of talk about how Cloud of Darkness works. So Cloud of Darkness does, I wouldn't say that they have a very specific rotation. Like, I think you'll have some choices on buttons you can press, but there's a certain button that you want to be very careful about how you're using it, right? So we're going to open up here with Garnet, and we'll just go through her turns pretty quickly here. What I'll probably do is during the showcase, I'll probably try to focus on Rem because they're the ones that get the orb. So I want to make sure I get Rem taken out of here. Sure, we'll try to make Cloud of Darkness look good here. So we'll put all of our debuffs on and all that good stuff. Once again, while focusing a little bit more on Rem. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll put the AA on here for Garnet. And then we're going to go ahead and use the burst attack. Sure. Alright, so the main gimmick with Cloud of Darkness, like I said, they are kind of a break-free turn character. So if you're familiar with Lightning, Cloud of Darkness is going to kind of work like that, where if they break, they get a free turn. And then if you kind of do something in between, like you can't do back-to-back breaks and get free turns, but if you do like a free action in between and then break again, you could keep chaining the free turns, which is good. So, and then if you look at the overhead buff for Cloud of Darkness, it's the 0 there with like the dark circle about it around it. So those are the darkness. That's the darkness buff. So you want to pay attention to the darkness buff. It's going to get stacks as you do attacks, okay? Basically, the way that it works is every time you use one of your normal attacks, if they are, and I'll talk about the specific attacks. It doesn't happen on every attack, but most of their attacks. If you attack a broken target, you get 1 stack, and then if you attack or if you break someone with an attack, then you'd get 2 stacks, right? So I'm gonna start by, because the enemies are starting off broken here, I'm gonna start by showing off the AA. This is like lightning, so you're just gonna get a free action. It's gonna brave attack, and it's just gonna put their brave up. Oh, and of course, yeah, that's the bad part about doing like Garnet and follow-up characters, is they could mess up your breaks. That's fine. We'll just waste another one. That's fine. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Actually, I probably shouldn't go too. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna let Rem get a turn, so I can swap turns and keep that up. So the Brave plus, the HP plus, we have Toying Appendages, Uncanny Beam. So those are both going to, once again, do 1 stack if they're already broken, 2 stacks if you break with it, and then once again, when Clouded Darkness breaks, they're going to get a free turn. Insulting Appendages, that's the 15. That's basically an AoE, like that's kind of your standard like AoE Brave Shave, like if you're just not sure what to press. That's usually what you'll press if you're kind of in between what you want to do. Okay, so we'll just start by looking at those 3. So let's go ahead. We'll do the 15 here and just do an AoE Brave Shave here, and then we'll do a dump on one enemy. So pretty decent damage there, right? You see the stacks just went up by 1. So now what we're going to do with Rem is we are going to, let me see here. Yeah, I think we're just going to, well, the thing is Rem's follow-up is going to break them. So we might as well just go crazy and put debuffs on. Why not? Because Rem's follow-up is going to break them. That's fine. We'll just keep using the AA if we got, all right? Until we run out of those, of course. All right, so we're going to put that on. And then, sure, let's go ahead and swap turns into Cloud of Darkness. Get them back up. Yep, and then Rem's Orb now is pretty good here for us. Okay. All right, so now we've got that. So you can see I'm at 1 stack here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Break, Reset, Burst. And actually, with my luck, I probably just set up for another Garnet one, didn't I? Yep. Of course I did. Of course I did. If anything, I can go to a burst mode and show it, but I want to actually show you how it works. All right, so we'll try one more time. So we'll do Break, Reset here on VV, because VV's at the end. Sure. And then these, sure, we can HP through these. Okay. All right, so now we've got our broken guy there at the end. All right, so now we can finally show how this works. So you see how that I'm at 1 stack. So I could just say use the Brave. Let's just use Toying Appendages. That's the Brave Plus. So if I use that, it's going to break. We're going to get a free turn. So extra turn from breaking. You see our stacks are now at 3, right? So that's basically how that works. Now, the Wide Angle Particle Beam. This is the one I really want to talk about. So you don't want to use that if you're at, I would say if you're at like 3 or 4 stacks, you really don't want to use that. So what Wide Angle Particle Beam is going to do, it's going to subtract 5 darkness stacks from you. So if you're at 5 or less, it's just going to take away all of your darkness stacks. If your stacks are at 4 or less, it's just going to do the Wide Angle Particle Beam. And so that's an AoE 1-turn delay. So there are times you want to use that, but usually you want to use it if you're at like 0 or 1 stacks, because you don't want to waste those stacks, right? Because whether it's at 0 to 4 stacks, it's going to do the same attack. But when it gets to 5 stacks, that's when it gets really good. Because it's going to turn into 0 form particle beam, and that's going to do like a massive 3-turn delay to the enemy. So what we'll do is let's go ahead and just do another, we'll just do another AoE Brave Shave here. Yep, so we'll just do that, and then now you can see we're at 4 stacks. And then on the next turn, we are going to, so let's go ahead and swap back. Let all of our follow-ups kind of go crazy here. Yep. Okay. All right, so we've got Clouded Darkness back up. I don't really have anything that can break right now, but I do want to get one more. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hop in the burst mode so that you guys can kind of see what's going on. Actually, let's do this. Let's put this on, and then maybe somebody will get unbroken at this time. We'll see. Okay, nope, that's fine. Let's just go into burst phase. Then we can just kind of show off everything and not really worry about what the enemies are doing, right? So you can see I'm at 4 stacks. So what I'm going to do here is let's just do another Insulting Appendages, or Insulating Appendages. So we'll do that. Now we're at 5 stacks. Okay. So now what you're going to notice is you'll see it turns to 0 form Particle Beam. And when it's 0 form Particle Beam, it is actually a free action. You see how it's green? So it's actually not going to subtract from from the count. So you can still use like several wide angle particle beams during a fight. It's not bad to use them, but you need to keep it at least one, so you can always use the 0 form free turn when you get it, right? So what we'll do, you won't really be able to see it because you can't really see the enemies there, but I can go ahead and use it. And basically we got 1 pushback from the break, and then the delay is like a 3-turn delay. So it's a really big delay, which is really, really nice. So that's what you really want to utilize, is getting yourself to 5 stacks. Now we haven't talked about the LD yet, so let's go ahead and use the LD. So if we use the LD here, that's the high speed particle beam. So we're going to pop that off. So that is an instant break. So it like broke them, like unbroke and then rebroke them again, right? So it's just an instant break basically, which then would give them a free turn. And you can see it also put us right up to 5 stacks. Now normally the stacks cap at 5, but with the LD you can exceed that cap, and I believe it goes up to like 25. You can exceed the cap. Usually you're not ever going to get it that high, but yeah, it does allow you to exceed the cap. And then you can see 0 form particle beam is up again, and it's going to be a free action, so it doesn't like subtract from the skill use, which is really good. And then we can do that there, yep, and pop through. All right, and then what's going to happen is at the end of this, we're going to talk about the burst effect. All right, and then we can talk about the EX really quick. The EX is another one that will also give stacks. So this, once again, is just a really powerful attack, does a lot of damage, and then does add to the darkness stacks. And it's the same rule. You're going to get 1 if they're unbroken, 2 if you actually break with it. And then we're going to go ahead and use the BT effect here. Okay. Now the BT effect is what makes her like really busted, and it's what makes her so popular as a friend unit, right? The other thing to keep in mind too is that just with most of these attacks, so like the LD has a buff attached to it called Balance of Ruin, so that's a 12-turn buff. So you want to make sure you're upkeeping that, but you really shouldn't have to worry about it so much. Oh yeah, sure, we're getting all the counterattacks. That's fine. We're just going to talk through the rest here. I don't even have to demo. We can die. Not a big deal. You know, it wouldn't be one of my showcases if they just died on them, right? That's fine. We're going to talk through this. I don't want to re-record it. It's fine. We just came out of there and they just went crazy on it. Oh, I remember why that happened too. So on Rems, what they do is at thresholds, they just get to do their LD attacks. So it's really bad to drop them all below, I think it's 49% at the same time. So that's fine. I'm not going to use a Gem Revive here. I'm just going to kind of explain it all. So just imagine that you're watching this all happen. But so you just want to upkeep your buffs. So that's the other thing to watch out for when you're actually doing Cloud of Darkness's kit, right? So the LD has a buff attached to it. Anti-particle beam has a buff attached to it. Insulating appendages has a buff attached to it. And then wide angle particle beam. The 15 and 35 have the same buff, so just focus on using the 15 to upkeep the buff, and then once again, just use the 35 to do the delay. Okay, so the one thing that I didn't get to show, actually, here's what we'll do. We will just, here, let's just not do a Gem Revive. Yes, I want to give up. What I'll do is I can maybe just hop in again really quick, and what would be really cool is if, because I wanted to talk about the friend Cloud of Darkness and then the burst effect, it'd be really cool if a Cloud of Darkness just happened to show up here. Yes, okay, we got one. All right, so what we'll do is we'll just call in the Cloud of Darkness, and then we can talk about the burst effect, and then we can talk about what that does, right? So basically, the burst effect gives Cloud of Darkness a follow-up attack after any action an ally does, okay? So you kind of play Cloud of Darkness differently when they are in your party as opposed to when they are a call. Because when Cloud of Darkness is in your party, you kind of, you know, well, I should say before the burst effect, right? So before the burst effect, you want to break, you want to get free turns, you want to delay, right? If you're bringing them in as a call, or if you've already have your own burst effect up, then you kind of don't want Cloud of Darkness to act. So what we'll do is we'll just bring in the friend one right away. That's fine. And then so when you bring in Cloud of Darkness as a friend, hopefully you want to bring in one that is green. And most people that are setting Cloud of Darkness as their friend have them green. But you want to do the burst attack right away. And so what's going to happen is this is going to put the burst effect up. Now what the burst effect does, like I said, they're going to do follow-up counters after every action ally does. So what you want to do to really abuse this, you could use characters that are turn stealers, turn manipulators, and then just keep Cloud of Darkness pushed to the back. The thing you have to be careful of is trying to avoid Cloud of Darkness's follow-ups breaking, because if the follow-ups break, then Cloud of Darkness is going to get shoved up to the front, right? Okay, so this is still the friend one. So we will let the friend one, we'll just do the high-speed particle beam. Yep. And then it's going to do that. Yep. And do that. Perfect. Okay. All right. So now this one is mine. So what's going to happen is you're going to see follow-ups happen after every attack. So if this was just like a turn stealer or something, so I could do like, let's do like a break, reset, burst here. And then you can see the follow-up from the friend unit is going to happen. Now, since they got a break there, and that's because I did the break, reset, burst, then they got jumped up, right? So normally you wouldn't want to do that. So I'm actually I'm actually messing this up pretty good right now, but that's fine. You get the idea. You just want to set it up so they don't break, and they do that. But you see the follow-ups are just happening after every attack. So like, for example, here, if I just do, so we'll just do the insulating appendages, and then you'll see that the follow-up's going to come, and it does a lot of damage. The big thing to do with this is you want to bring in the friend Cloud of Darkness before going into a burst phase, because that burst effect will carry through the entire burst phase. So here's what we can do. So the friend Cloud of Darkness is in slot 2, right? And you can see they've got 10 stacks because that's building up. Because the counters, I believe, also add to the stack, so it can really build up fast, right? So what we'll do with Rem is we'll swap into mine, which is in slot 1. Okay, so mine will come up here. Okay, that's going to do that. Perfect. All right, so now we've got mine here, right? So what we'll do is we'll go into burst phase with mine. And then because the friend has the burst effect up, what's going to happen now is we're going to get follow-ups from the friend with every attack. So we can just go through this really quick. You can kind of see that happen. I'm just going to cancel that. I don't want to take too much time here. And then you'll see the additionals are just going to keep coming through. So this is why Cloud of Darkness is a really popular friend unit, or had been for a very long time. Because of this. Like Noctis is another character people have used for this. And then this is why Garnet right now is so popular. One, because Garnet's got the ridiculous auras, but Garnet also has follow-up. So you can kind of do this with Garnet as a friend as well. It's just Garnet's, you have to do 4 actions before you get it, but it's a really, really big hit, right? But yeah, so that's basically it. That's Cloud of Darkness in a nutshell. I know things got a little bit rocky there at the end, but we got through. We got through the showcase. Let me know what you guys think of Cloud of Darkness, if you like them or not. They are definitely good enough to run in your party, but they are a character I do like more as a friend unit. So some people are asking like, hey, should I pull for Cloud of Darkness? Or if I got Cloud of Darkness, should I build them up? And I think every character is worth building up if you have like a fluid amount of resources to spare. But if you're a newer player and you have like very limited like red and blue ingots and like can't do every character, I wouldn't actually recommend doing Cloud of Darkness. I would do more like the newer C90 characters. And as I'm recording this, I think Zach is about to drop, and Zach is like really, really busted. So you definitely want to go for Zach. So anyways, let me know what you guys think of Cloud of Darkness. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.